Hi guys, it is Niall and Tomas from niallpointspod, and it's another episode of niallpointspod. So you might have remembered that we were struggling for content. So we have came up with the world's longest series ever. We have decided we are going to restart the ESC battles, but do it slightly differently. We're going to do our very best to find the ultimate Eurovision song. We have loaded in over 1,700 songs into a random generator. We're going to randomly spit out a few, and we're going to choose between them which our favourites are. And then eventually we'll start narrowing them down. We'll maybe ask you guys to help us out between some of them and between recordings. But wow, we better get a crack on because there's so many to go through.
Especially if we're going to do 2 songs in one episode. Like, how fucking long is this going to last?
Well, we'll see how many we can do. I've got an idea, but we need to sort of think it through. But or we need to see how it works in practice. But my idea is that we do 8 songs and get them down to 2 today. It's sort of like, do you know how March Madness works? I don't know anything about sports, but I know they have the bracket, and like we've got 2 people go against each other, 2 people go against each other. That.
Oh, it should be like in like what you get in like the World Cup football stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll do lots of little ones, and then we'll start whittling them down, and we can get.
I can't believe we managed to find a way to turn that into a Eurovision thing.
I'm sure it's been done. But this is the official niallpoint ultimate song. We won't be finished by the time we get new Eurovision songs, so we'll just keep adding them in as we go. But I think what we can do now is let's find the first song, the first 2 songs rather, that can go up against each other. You can only see a few songs here, but there are 1,700 plus. But will we find our first one?
Yes.
Okay, let's
click
do it.
To spin.
And we're quite recent. It's 2012 Serbia. Oh,
that's not a bad one to start.
Why did I have to start off with one that I can't pronounce?
Zeljko Joksimovic.
No, okay.
I think it's Nije ljubav stvar.
Okay,
well, I remember the song. I like this one actually. Have you heard it?
I don't think so, because we all know that I'm a bit of a noob, but also I have a terrible memory.
Did you watch 2012 though? Have you seen the entire contest?
I don't think so. Anyway, so it's 2012 Serbia against. Let's remove that from the list. And
ooh, that's the first one. This is exciting.
Oh, the Zara.
Oh no, this is already a tough one for me.
But here, by the magic of video editing, is a little clip of both.
Chanter la grande France. Évidemment, elle ne sera plus jamais la même. Cette vie d'avant, évidemment.
Okay. Whoop, whoop. That was the Zara with Évidemment, and before that we had Serbia 2012.
Zeljko Joksimovic.
You said during that it was a second entry. You are correct. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia just now.
Yes.
Serbia and Montenegro came second in 2004.
So he's done really well. Second and third.
and third. And then I'm assuming that he wrote 3 others. Bosnia and Herzegovina 2006 came third, 2008 Serbia came 6th, and then Montenegro in 2015 came 13th. So, according to Wikipedia, I don't remember, but yeah, it's sort of like doing Johnny Logan on his Wikipedia page, because it is just listed as Eurovision Song Contest entries. It doesn't like
it doesn't really
say whether doesn't say whether he's a singer or songwriter, but he plays. I read something there. He plays 12 different musical instruments, including the accordion, guitar, and drums. And he is fluent in Greek, English, Russian, Polish, French, and Serbian. What can't you do at that?
Yeah, he's a very talented man.
And I thought it was a really good song. I don't remember it. So I might not have watched 2012. I might only know things like Euphoria from the hype of Euphoria. I really enjoyed it, considering it's more of a ballad, and we all know how I feel about a ballad. No, I thought really nice bits of sort of ethnic sounding stuff in there, which I always really appreciate, but not in a way where it just felt shoehorned in or it felt like it was over the top. Everything felt like it was solid for 2012. If I think of what music was back then, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's probably the reason why you do like this one, considering it's a ballad, is probably the ethnical, instrument. Like the instrumentation is very traditional in a way, but also feels kind of modern, and it feels very Eurovision in the best way possible. And it's all very. How can I put this? I want to say demure.
Is it very mindful?
Very mindful.
Is it cutesy?
It is, but it is very it is quite demure, but it's very tasteful, is what I'm trying to say here. It's very tasteful. Yeah. It's very clean, but you still gripping. And I gotta say, the last couple of years I've struggled with Serbia a little bit. I haven't really been a big fan of their latest entries. This year I thought it was beautiful. It was beautiful in the arena as well, but I'm not really listening to the song. This might actually be okay. I mean, Biti Strava was very, Incorpore Sane, that was very good as well. But even then, I think this might still be my all-time favorite Serbian entry. Because it's just so beautiful, and it really is. And I've said this before in other pods, is this kind of ethnic traditional music is the reason why I fell in love with Eurovision in the first place. It's just countries showcasing their talent, showcasing their traditions in music, singing in their own language. So I love this. This is going to be a tough one for me to decide, actually.
Yeah, because we then go straight into Lazara from Liverpool. I do have a love for this song, but watching it back, it just felt like, I think you made a comment during it where you mentioned that it sounded hollow. I feel like everything just felt a little bit flatter. I don't know if it's just because I'm watching it on a smaller screen or it's just aged a little bit, but
it was the same on TV though.
Yeah,
it felt the same on TV.
Well, I still enjoy this song. It's one of those songs that when it comes on shuffle, I automatically just have a little bit of like a little bit more sass in my step, like when I'm walking. If you're walking down the street and the music sort of makes you go, I'm walking with power now. No one can stop. That's sort of what it was. Of course, France ultimately came 16th in the televote and the jury. Where did they end up overall? Ending 14th. So it was a slightly disappointing disappointing result in terms of what they would have liked.
Yeah, what they would have expected. They expected more, I think.
Yes. What do you think of Évidemment?
I mean, genuinely, that was one of the songs that grabbed me from the first note last year when I heard it for the first time. I was like, oh, this is perfection. Studio cut, that is. It was just, again, it's kind of traditional in a way, because it is very, very French. She does sort of tap into that Edith Piaf, not unlike what Barbara Pravi did, in a completely different way, obviously with a ballad in was it 2021, I think.
Yeah.
But this sort of like, it's mainly her vibe and her attitude on stage. Also in the music video, she's very sassy. She's kind of sassy in real life as well, as we've
from what we've heard. Yes,
as we've noticed during the live show as well. This is just one of those songs that really grabbed me from the get-go, and I never lost my love for it throughout the season. But as you said, the whole performance felt kind of flat. What like bothered me the most about the performance was the vocal, not the vocal per se, but like the sound mixing of it. And we've discussed this before, that this was a sort of like reoccurring thing in 2023, where some of the performance felt sort of hollow, sort of empty vocally. I feel like we had the same thing a little bit with Mae Muller. It didn't sound 100% like it should have. And we cannot put the blame on the singer, like fully put the blame on the singers. There might have been a few bum notes here and there for them, but at the end of the day, it sort of like, for me, it sort of felt like the music was too quiet. And then at certain points, the vocal was too quiet. And because this is really like, especially Lazara's song, is very disco. It's very up-tempo. It's funky. And the staging sort of oozed funk, but the sound did not. So that's where it sort of fell flat for me. And I think it's a pity, because I think she could have done a lot better. Because I did kind of like the whole, the tower that she was on and the long gown, like glittery gown, and that sort of falling off, and the lighting shining. Because she did kind of look like an Eiffel Tower, didn't she? Like at some point.
Yeah.
I
will say, watching that live in the M&S Arena last year, it was quite insane to watch, because that tower was a lot more shaky than it looked on TV.
Yeah.
It looked terrifying from how close that was. My favorite bit is still just the people dressed like in black masks and stuff running away with the drapery as it comes out, hiding behind. But yeah, no, I feel like it's one that in the arena really kind of works better than on the record. But what I did like about the watching it in the record, we didn't really, in the arena, you don't really hear the all the music's quite as well as you do, because it is made for TV. I really appreciate hearing like the extra disco flair. There was a couple points there where it felt like it was maybe turned up a little bit too loud, but I didn't care. I loved it. But yeah, so France 2023 or Serbia 2012? Thomas, who do you vote for?
I still haven't decided if I'm gonna base this on the performance or just the entire experience. Studio cut, performance, vibe of the art. I think song-wise, if I think about the fact that the song that I listen to the most, obviously there's some recency bias there, but I definitely have in real numbers, I definitely have listened more to Évidemment. But the performance of Željko Joksimović has my preference. So what are you gonna base it on? Help me out here.
I'll tell you what I'm basing it on, considering it was only the first time I've heard it. I am voting for 2012 Serbia. I thought I thought I just enjoyed it that little bit more watching it.
Mm.
I can't pinpoint on what I'm voting this on. Just that's my preference in the moment. That's what I prefer to watching out of the two of them.
Okay. In the name of powering through, I'm also going to go for Serbia because I'm going to be thinking for another half an hour if you let me. So yeah, Serbia.
Okay.
It's just like slightly, just Serbia.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was a clean sweep or anything, but close. Oh, okay, that's one down. The Zara is out. She is not.
It feels wrong.
She is not the most iconic Eurovision song in history, according to Niall. But let's find out who it could be and get our next two songs. Here we go. Oh, it's recent again, 2018 Finland. Oh, I know what you're not voting for. Well, it depends what it's up against. So we've got Sarah Alto with Monsters. And we're putting that up against Yugoslavia 1976.
This is going to be interesting.
Story. Okay, so it will be Sarah Alto up against Yugoslavia, 1976 Ambassadari. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of the song, but let's take a look at that, and we will follow that with Finland's Sarah Alto Monsters. Here we go.
So tonight I'm making friends with all the creatures that are hiding there under my bed. I ain't gonna hold on to these monsters anymore. Now I'm gonna let it overlight and down the wall.
Right, I'm going to say one thing before Thomas completely rips that to shreds. I don't understand why Finland 2018 gets so much hate. I loved that song then. I love that song now. It's a classic dance pop bop. Her vocal there, I enjoyed. I enjoyed some of the runs that she had. The one thing I hate, her outfit, absolutely horrible. But
Betty does not agree.
Benny's
on my side, babe.
Benny's obviously hearing something. But no, I love it. I what more do you want from Eurovision than just camp theatrics? Like, oh, right, okay, on you go.
Right. You know what? You want to know the funny thing? Is the outfit is actually the one thing that I like about this. Look, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, even though I know it's going to get me some hate, but this is probably in the top 3 of what is, in my opinion, the 3 worst songs to have ever graced the stage of the Eurovision Song Contest. I cannot stand it from start to finish. It hurts my ears. I don't even know where these strong feelings come from. I don't use the word hate often when it comes to music, but this is just horrid to me. And I'm already feeling guilty saying that because she seems like a lovely person. She really does. But it's just the vocal just sort of hurts my ears. It's so shouty, so not in tune. There's so many high notes in there, and I'm like, you can barely get there, and it's very, oh, no. I didn't like the studio cut, and the live version just completely ruined it for me. And I feel like this is, if she would have nailed those vocals, this could have been one of the songs that, do you know how you sometimes have songs where you're like, no, don't get it. And then you see it live, or you see it live in an arena when you're there, or pre-party, whatever, and you're like, oh, now I get it. No, completely ruined. I can't, I don't know what else to say. I'm really, really sorry for her. I know that a lot of people You say this gets a lot of hate, but I do know that a lot of people love it as well. It's
You're
just
not the first person I've seen who absolutely detests this.
yeah, it's also genre-wise. I know it's just pop, but it's a sort of pop song that doesn't excite me. It didn't excite me then. It's definitely not going to excite me now.
Well, it's still in my Apple Music playlist, so I will tell you that. I still listen to it a lot. So
it's one of those things. Some people will love it, others will not. It's fine.
a bit of Marmite. But I will defend it till the end of my days. If Sarah Alto, if you have one fan, it is me. If you have 0 fans, I am dead. Let's move on to Ambassadori. This was fun. Now it did prompt me to want to ask a question. When was the last time we had a set of bongo drums on stage at Eurovision? Because that seemed fun.
Ooh.
Like 1976, and we had the bongos going. I like that.
I think this is just from what I know, from what I remember, because it's obviously from Belgium. But I think Sandy, I don't know if you know that song. We'll come across it at some point. But Sandy did Eurovision for us in 2004, the year that Ruslana won, which was a very dancey pop song with drums and very kind of traditional in a way, but also very synthy. And I think they had someone on stage playing the bongo drums as well, or like something similar to bongo drums. I mean, I'm sure others have done it.
I'm sure we have. Yeah. All I'm saying is more bongo drums at Eurovision, please. That's for sure. Start vocally. I thought vocals were on point. Sounded really good. Sounded really fun. You definitely got that 70s feel from it as well, but not in a way where you're like, oh, this feels old. It just was a bit of fun. I really I really kind of enjoyed it, and that guy's hair in the background is absolutely astounding. Thomas, what do you think?
Also, so 70s, isn't it? That haircut.
Yes, everything is
very, very 70s. Okay, I did a little bit of not digging, but I did check Wikipedia here. So obviously they represented Yugoslavia, which is no longer a country, it doesn't exist anymore. It's split up into different countries. They were from Sarajevo, apparently, and they were active from 1968 until 1980. So a good 12 years. And I see that they actually came second to last in Eurovision 1976, which feels kind of weird because I did kind of enjoy it. So maybe the other songs were just better. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I find it very difficult to compare these two because they're so different. I'm sort of trying to catapult myself to 1976 and try to imagine with what is popular then how this would sound, if this would be popular or not. But I can't get myself there. It's very hard. So I'm just going to base this solely on the performance from what we just saw. Like you said, vocally on point, which is something that always strikes me with these older Eurovision entries. It always, or almost always, seems to be vocally perfect. All of these singers, backing singers, lead singers, they all have really strong vocals. Whereas I feel like in recent years, that sort of has, become a little bit less important. It's become more about the show. It's become more about the performance. Because back then you didn't have any backdrops. You didn't have. I think it was Nicole and Hugo that did the very first singing and dancing at the same time.
Yeah.
So how crazy is that? That up until then people didn't really do that. So it was quite static in a way, but I really did enjoy this. This is really fun seeing all of these songs from earlier. I know a lot of older Eurovision entries, but not all of them, and this was one of them that I hadn't heard before. So.
Because I don't think you're quite born yet. I think you were born a couple of years after this, weren't you? Right. I'm going to cut to the chase, and for the sake of moving on quickly, we will eliminate Finland 2018.
Yes.
Personally, I would vote for it, but I enjoyed Yugoslavia enough to concede that round. So let's get some more songs, shall we?
Whoop.
Right, okay. So the first song in the next round is Portugal 2008.
Ooh.
Tania Fernandes. I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sure. Senhora
I think it was okay.
do Mar. And we will remove that. And that is going up against. Oh, another recent-ish one.
Oh!
What's the Pressure from Laura Tesoro, Belgium, 2016. And I do know that song, of course. Okay, so let's start with Portugal 2008, and then we'll take a look at Belgium 2016.
Vida sem sal, essa sem vão, deixai seu coração bater junto a mim. Ai, negras águas, ondas de mágoas, gelaram meu fogo. What's the pressure?
Hey.
Okay, dokie. So that was A Lover Tesoro, What's the Pressure, and Venia Fernandes, Senhora do Mar. Thomas, let's go to you. Tell me, what do you think?
Should we start with Portugal?
Sure.
Let's start with Portugal. Okay. This is another really tough one for me because I love both of these songs. And I've just realized this is going to get so annoying that we're going to have battles where we're like, I don't know. And then we're going to have battles where we're like, oh, I don't know. So this is one of the latter. It's talk about a vocal. That was an insane vocal.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And her look, the traditional look, the makeup, the hair, it was all just perfection to me. Very traditional again. Portugal will always send a song in Portuguese, or almost always anyway. And it's such a beautiful language, which adds to the vibe. Also, I think live backing vocals as well for Portugal.
Yeah, would have been.
I think they were live. I suppose if the backing...
You've only been allowed non-live backing vocals since 2021.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, very, very good. So different then from the Belgian entry in 2016. I seem to remember she was a bit of a fan favorite somehow, but she didn't do as well as some would have expected. Let me just quickly... Eurovision. I kind of forgot where she placed. Because 2008 was a pretty good year. I remember I have a lot of songs from 2008 in my playlist. Some of my all-time favorites are from that year. Contest overview. Let's see. She came 13. Okay.
It's not bad. Respectable.
It's not bad. I feel like it could have been a top 10. If it were up to me, it would have been a top 10. There's just nothing bad about this.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get my lighter out during that, and just I just felt very sort of in the moment with it. I agree with you on the hair, the makeup, all the rest of it. Until that when Machine came out, it was on full blast. Someone needed to pull it down a couple of seconds. It was sending her hair everywhere. But no, I thought the whole package was quite nice. The backing worked well with her. And the contrast with the white and the black worked well with the outfits. No, I did enjoy that. And very different from What's the Pressure. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest here with What's the Pressure. It has all the makings of something that could easily just be a cringe fest. And in fact, I think I remember feeling like it was quite cringy at the time. There's a lot of trying very hard. There's a lot of really insane dance moves that appear to be there for no reason.
It's disco.
Just for but I don't mean like for no reason. Just like it just
You're like
seems
that.
to
You're
be
like that one thing from, was it Matt Lucas's character with like yeah but no but yeah but no but.
But what I mean is that it was just a little bit harder than it had to be. There was just too. It was almost like there was too much. It was like, here's a good choreo, but let's add like 5 more steps in 2 seconds. It looked a little bit like all over the place in a couple bits. Not bad, but just a lot. It looked, I would have been out of breath so quickly. But it's got all the makings of something that feels cringe, and then, as I say, I feel like I thought it was at the time. But in the last few years, whenever it came on, I've been like, this is fun. And
yeah,
all you're doing is you're just watching someone live her best life, have the most fun on stage. Her smile is beaming. The dancers are dancing. The backing is backing. Everything is just doing what it needs to do. And it is a lot of fun. Is it the best song in the world? No.
no.
But it is a lot of fun. And we need to give it props for that.
Yeah, I feel like when it came out as well, because that was obviously one of the years where the VRT did Eurosong. It's not like there was a lot at offer in 2016 for Eurosong. But when it won, it was kind of like, people were kind of like, oh, it's so old fashioned, which it is. It's very, it didn't feel modern, even for a song that is already now 8 years old. It was just not up to date. It didn't feel current. And I feel like a lot of people dismissed it, myself included, to be honest with you. I didn't really vibe with the song that much, mainly because the performance in Eurosong, although she was vocally on point, you should have seen that one. That one was cringe. That was trying too hard, because there was a lot of, not really controversy, but a lot of people talking about the fact that she had all black backing singers, and that it was sort of a little bit trying too hard to be, you give that sort of like,
right.
Can you see what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of people said, like, why are all the backing singers black? It feels like it's sort of trying a bit too hard. So I'm glad that they mixed it up a little bit for Eurovision, made it a little bit more genuine in a way. I see your point when you say with the dance moves and it, coming across a little bit cringy here and there. But for me, it just worked. That's when I saw that performance, that's where it all came together for me, where I was like, okay, this is deserving of going to the final and doing well. And it did well. It came 10th. I think it came 5th with the juries or something. It joined 5th with Russia, which is crazy, which is mainly due to her vibe, her, her vocal, the vibe of the backings. But her vocal, again, was insane. And she's not been the most consistent in live performances. I've seen her live a couple times on TV. She's not always pitch perfect, but she was great on the night. She really delivered. And she's the one that sold this old-fashioned song. So props to her. Yeah.
Okay, time to vote. This is a tough one.
It is a tough one.
But I think personally that I have to vote for Belgium.
Okay. I was actually gonna adjust my vote to yours and be like, if you pick Portugal, I'm gonna concede and I'm gonna offer up Belgium, because for me it's a very tough one as well. But again, they're so different. But I'm not gonna be, pulling out my dance moves to Senhora do Mar. I am going to do that to What's the Pressure. And it's one of those songs, like you said, when it comes on, if it comes on in a pre-party, everybody's singing along.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It has become a classic. So, okay. Yeah. So Belgium.
Okay. 2 to Belgium. There we go. Sorry, Portugal. Very close. This is going to be a tough series. Mm-hmm. But we've got one last round to do today. So let's bring back the wheel. Let's spin.
Another
2007 Poland, Time to Party by the Jet Set.
I don't remember that one.
It could be that.
It sounds very wrong.
Does it?
The Jet Set, Time to Party. It sounds very, yeah.
Okay, so we'll take that away, and it will be competing against 90s. Oh, we've had quite a few different decades today.
Yep, that's fun.
So that's Italy, Jalise, Fiume di Parole.
Yeah.
Apologies to anyone watching from Italy. Okay, so it is Poland 2007 versus Italy from 10 years prior, 1997. So let's see a little clip of both and see what we think.
You got the loving I need and I always will be there for you. I'm your baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm your baby. Let's go. Come with me because it's time to party. Join me and let's go to a party. Everybody has a right to party, get crazy. Keep it up, keep the party alive. Fiumi di parole, fiumi di parole tra noi, prima o poi ci portano via. Ti darò il mio cuore se vuoi, ora parla con lui.
And another whoop there from Tomas. Okay, before we discuss the songs, or discuss winning, because I think we know who wins this battle, let's talk about Poland. What the hell was going on there? I don't even know if I really have a critique, because it was just so bonkers. It's to me, it just seems like, right, okay, we've just been told that we are competing against a Ukrainian drag queen who wears a Christmas tree star on her head. What can we do to make us stand out more? And it's like, let's just throw everything at it. That's sort of what it feels like a little bit. That was just... 14th in the semi-final. It did not qualify.
I'm surprised it came 14th, not gonna lie.
Yeah. I don't really have words to describe that one.
I can see you're at a loss for words. Did you hear me squeal? I was laughing throughout it. It was
cackling.
It was wild. I remember watching 2007. I do not remember that song, and I can't even
blanked it out from your memory.
Because why else wouldn't I remember this? Do you know what? In a way, it is so nuts that it is somehow a masterpiece on its own. It's kind of like it's in its own league, for sure. To me, it sort of felt like they had two songs, and they were like, so these are our two options. Let's just cut them into pieces and glue them together. So it went from rap to cabaret, and then it went back to rap, and then it went to cabaret again, and then it was sort of like a mixture of the two at the end. You talked about unnecessary dance moves during Belgium's performance in 2016. I think it's safe to say this tops that. It's just also, I screamed at the sudden outburst of fire on stage. I was like, that was so random. Where did that come from? It was not the moment for fire. And I was like, what is going on? I have to say, though,
no sense.
Her vocal was on point. She hit every single note that she was supposed to hit.
What about his vocal?
His vocal, what was he even doing there? Oh, and the pants were very, very wrong. Like, those should never have been in fashion, to be honest, even in the 2000s. That was just, but, that aside, it was fun, though. I enjoyed watching that.
I mean, we're going to think about that or have nightmares about that tonight. One of the two. We then move on to Jalise. Of course, they came fourth in 1997. Beautiful song. You do wonder, what's it like going from fourth in the Eurovision Song Contest to just 25 years later coming 10th in Una Voz por San Marino in 2024. What a weird roller coaster that is. Apparently, I was just doing a quick little search because I recognised the name from San Marino last year, and I wanted to confirm. Apparently, they have submitted 2 songs to San Remo. So who knows if we'll be seeing? Yeah. So who knows if we'll be seeing them again? But that was iconic. There was nothing. I can see why it came fourth. It was just beautiful, classic. That didn't need anything added or taken away. It was just perfection. Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I have seen 1997 in full. I watched it. I think it was the first. Yeah, it was the first contest I watched, or that I remember watching as a kid. So that was my first Eurovision experience. I think I told you the story where when I was a kid, I used to live in this village where they held sort of like festivities in the village every year in May. And it used to coincide with Eurovision a lot of times. And I have to say 1997, actually 2 of my all-time favorites are from 1997. One of them is, I know the singer is quite problematic these days, but obviously Katrina and the Waves, that song is just still one of the best songs in my opinion. But one song from 1997 that's always consistently in my all-time top 5 is Dinle, which was a Turkish entry that year. So it was a very strong year, and I have to say I didn't quite remember the Italian song until I started listening to it now, and then I was like, oh yeah, I do sort of vaguely remember this. Beautiful vocals, and just the simplicity of 1997, right? You just had a live band. I think it was the last time they had a live band. Was 97 the last one?
Maybe.
I think it might have been. I don't remember one in 98. So just the simplicity of it. Just you're on stage, you have your band with you, you have your backings with you, and you just sing your song. And that's how you convince the people to vote for you. It's not even imaginable anymore these days. And it's like, or it takes a very strong performer to do that, to just be alone and just stand there and sing that song. It's just stunning.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. And I take it that's our winner?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to vote for Poland. No.
Okay. That wasn't a tough one there at all. But that means we have 4 songs knocked out, and we have 4 songs still in. So we've got Serbia, 2012, 1976 Yugoslavia, 2016 Belgium, and 1997 Italy. Okay, so we've got our first 4 through the first round, but we need to get 2 through the second round, and then we will let you vote between them to see who progresses. So Serbia versus Yugoslavia. Thomas, who are you voting for?
Oh, Serbia.
Serbia, same here. Perfect. And Belgium versus Italy. Oh, that's a bit of a tougher one. 2 very different songs. Jalise versus Laura Tesoro.
I'm going to go with Laura Tesoro. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same because it's for me, it's more memorable. Sorry, Italy, sorry. But yeah, okay.
It's more the fun factor for me. That's it.
Yeah. And what we will do is shortly, a couple of days after we put this up, we will put a poll on Twitter for you to vote, and we will finish off this bracket. So let us know what you think about some of our decisions. Tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right, whatever you think. You can do that down below, like, comment, subscribe. You can go to niallpointspod on Twitter and Instagram.
I was going for the thumbs up.
Yeah, you have to only do one for that. Niallpointspod on Twitter and Instagram. You can also check out niallpointspod.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at niallpoint.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Pairatomeriria.
And we will see you again next time.
Bye.
Ciao.